Hello there, seventh graders. You need to get out page 84, and some of you at this point might be realizing this is the last page in my binder. Before you get too excited thinking we're done, we're not done. We actually have one more strand. It's the statistics and probability strand. And what that means is for that final strand, I'm actually going to give you guys a spiral notebook, and we're going to do something a little bit different for this one, just to change things up because we're at the end here and we've done a lot and it's fun to make things different. So just, you can expect a different setup as we move forward. But this is the final page of our geometry strand. So everybody get out page 84, pens, pencils, whatever you're using for this, and here we go. This task is an excellent way to not only summarize and review everything we've been doing with surface area and volume, but it's also kind of a preview into what you will be doing for your practice test and your test on this. So this is a review, help summarize everything. It says you go to the movie theater and you want to buy some popcorn. They have 3 different boxes of popcorn you can purchase with the measurements as shown below. Part A says, suppose all the popcorn boxes cost the same amount. Which container gives you the most for your money? If they all cost the same amount and I ask you which one gives you the most for your money, what am I really asking you? Well, I'm asking you which one will give you the most popcorn. Which one holds the most popcorn? Well, think about what we've done in class. What makes sense for calculating which one holds the most popcorn? Volume, of course. Let's find the volume of each of these containers. Okay, so we're going to find the volume of the first container, which is a cube, also known as a rectangular prism. But as we talked about in class, I'm going to do like this, volume of the cube. Okay, volume of the cube. The volume of any figure is the area of the base times the height, right? So part A is all about volume, which is area of the base times the height. So the volume of this cube is going to be area of the base, which is 9 times 9, because it's a square, which is 81, times the height of the cube, which is also 9, because all of the measurements are 9. So the volume of the cube is 81 times 9. And type that in your calculator. 81 times 9 is 729 cubic inches. That means if you buy that particular container, you're going to get 729 cubic inches of popcorn. Okay, let's check out the volume of the cylinder. It's the same formula. It's still the area of the base times the height. But in this case, the area of the base is pi r squared because it's a circle, right? Okay, so pi times r squared this is approximately 50.27, and the height of the cylinder is 12. So now the volume is area of the base times the height. And I still have this big long decimal sitting here, so I'm just going to do times 12. That means the volume of this, if you buy the cylindrical popcorn container, that volume is 603.19 cubic inches. Okay, that's how much popcorn it will hold. All right, and one more. Now we're going to do the volume of the rectangular prism. And since this is a review of everything we've been doing, we're writing down all our vocabulary, keeping track of all of our work, showing how mathematical and formulaic we can be about this stuff. Area of the base. I'm going to choose 8 by 7 just because that seems to make sense to a lot of you if the base is on the bottom. But just be careful and know that they can turn cylinders and things sideways and the base is still a circle, right? Area of the base, then the height would be 12. And the volume is area of the base times height, 56 times 12, 672. So for this part, according to when we're focused on how much popcorn it holds, which one gives you the most for your money? Well, the cube. And we're going to say the cube holds the most popcorn. So if they all cost the same, you really ought to order the cube because you're going to get more popcorn that way. Now, funny would be if you're standing there at the counter like, hold on, doing your math and deciding. But it's valid, right? This one gives you more popcorn by quite a bit, actually. So you should get the cube. Part B asks a different question. Suppose you work for the popcorn box making company. You're making the boxes now. How much cardboard would you need to make each container shown? This is no longer about how much popcorn it's going to hold. It's about how much material you need, which of course means this section is all about surface area. Okay, so let's do surface area of the cube. I don't know why I put all of that in capital letters, but surface area of the cube. Okay, surface area is now for a cube. I know we have the 2b plus pH, but we did one of these on your notes too. Isn't a cube just 6 squares? And really, it's going to be so much easier and more efficient if you just calculate 6 of the squares, right? All the squares are 9 by 9. So really a cube, the easiest way is to just go with the 6 squares. So 9 times 9 is 81 times 6 is 486. And this is now square inches. So 486 square inches of cardboard to make that popcorn box. And of course, that is assuming that there's a lid on it, which there might not be. And if there wasn't, wouldn't we just do 5 squares? So that could change things a little bit. And that actually has a name, it's called lateral area, which is a little different. Okay, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're just gonna say all these boxes do have a lid. Oh, okay, so we're gonna now find the surface area of the cylinder. Surface area of a cylinder. This is a review, so let's write it all down. This one is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. One of my favorite formulas to say. It's been in my head forever because I like saying it. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So all I need is the r and the h. There we go. So now I'm going to plug it in. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Now I've got it all nicely set up because I am a mathematician and I'm going to type it in 2 pi times 4 squared plus 2 pi times 4 times 12, or just 48 because I know 4 times 12. But the surface area of the cylinder means it would take about 402.12 square inches to make that box. And one more, let's find the surface area of the rectangular prism. For this one, I am going to use the formula because I could break it all down and just do all the rectangles separately. And that's not so bad. But the formula, now that we're used to it, the formula might be a little bit faster. Especially since I already decided that capital B was going to be 8 by 7. All I need now is the perimeter, 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7, which is 16 plus 14, which is 30, right? Yep. And then the height is still 12. So now I'm going to use the surface area formula and get 2B plus PH. And I go, okay, 2 times 56 plus 30 times 12. And the surface area for the rectangular prism is 472 square inches. So it says, how much cardboard would you need to make each container? Well, that's what I found, 3 different answers. So the cube holds the most popcorn, but it also uses the most cardboard to make. The cylinder holds the least amount of popcorn, but also uses the least amount of cardboard. And the rectangular prism is kind of the middle ground for those. It uses a little bit less cardboard, but also holds a little bit less popcorn. So there's a final thoughts down here, just as one final review. Let's say this. Let's remind ourselves that volume is the number of cubes to fill a figure. And in this scenario, that was all about how much popcorn it would hold. Okay, so the volume in this scenario, the number of cubes, that's in general, it's the number of cubes to fill a figure. But in this particular scenario, it was how much popcorn it was going to hold. And surface area, as we know, is the number of squares to cover a figure. So in this story, that was how much cardboard? So one last overall example to make sure, not one last, because you're going to do a practice test and a test, that bring this all together, surface area and volume. Give your practice test a try. If you have any questions, please let me know.